everybody. Today's story is called The Perfect Barn, and it was written by Sunshine, Shanks, and illustrated by Alicia Tibbetts. Barn Owl's feathers ruffled in the wind as she soared above the long barns. She heard peeping noises coming from below. Peep, peep, peep. Barn Owl had just begun looking for a home. Neither barn looked right for a barn owl. They were broiler houses farmers used to raise chickens. Here, the chicks are protected from predators like raccoons and foxes. Chickens stay in the broiler house for 30 to 48 days to grow from chicks to chickens. They are raised for meat like chicken nuggets and fried chicken. It's important to keep the chicks healthy, so they need a barn that is just right for them. Tubes and feeders are used to feed the chicks corn and soybean meal around the clock. Chickens grow fast because of the nutritious food and fresh water they are given. Heaters, lights, and fans help control the temperature, keeping the barn comfortable. In some broiler houses, computers control the food, water, lighting, and temperature. If something quits working, the computer alerts the farmer by calling or sending a message to his or her phone. Barn Owl decided a broiler house was not good for her, but perfect for chickens. At the next barn she flew to, she didn't hear peeping. Instead, Barn Owl heard, oink, oink, oink. This barn didn't look right for her either. It is used for raising pigs, also known as hogs or swine. It is a finishing barn where weaned piglets are raised until they are about 6 months old. The barn protects pigs from predators like coyotes. Like the broiler houses, this barn keeps pigs at the right temperature. In some barns, overhead nozzles mist the pigs with water to cool them when it's hot. The pigs are fed natural foods like corn and soybean meal, and they eat a lot. That is the reason they grow so quickly. These pigs are raised for pork, like bacon, sausage, and ham. Barn Owl decides this barn was perfect for pigs, but not for her. The next farm Barn Owl flew to, she could hear baa, baa, baa. This barn was good for sheep because of the small pens inside called lambing jugs. Lambing jugs help the ewe bond with her lamb or lambs. Ewes generally have 1 to 3 lambs. To keep the lambs comfortable and warm, the farmer beds the barn with straw. Heat lamps are used to keep the lambs warm when it's cold. Once the lambs are strong, the farmer moves them to pasture. Wool sheep are raised for their meat and wool. The wool is sheared off and made into sweaters, coats, and socks. Some sheep are milked to make cheeses like feta and ricotta. Barn Owl flew on to the next farm where she heard moo, moo, moo. This barn looked perfect for dairy cows. In the dairy barn, dairy cows like black and white Holsteins and brown Jerseys are cared for and milked so people can have milk to pour over cereal, cheese to grate over pasta, ice cream to scoop on top of cake, yogurt to spoon over fruit, and butter to slather on toast. Dairy cows are given a place to rest and plenty of feed and water. When it is hot, farmers use fans and misters to keep the cows cool. The farmer milks them in the milking parlor using special equipment that attaches to the cow's teats. The milk travels in tubes to a holding tank to be stored and kept cold. The milk is tested for bacteria, butterfat, and protein. Then it is transported in large tanker trucks to factories where it will be pasteurized and made into dairy foods. A dairy barn wasn't right for her either. She was tired from all her flying around, so Barn Owl rested on a branch in a tall elm tree. As she looked around, her wise owl eyes suddenly spotted an old red barn in a field. Nearby, cattle were grazing. These cows, calves, and bulls were beef cattle. They are raised for beef, hamburger, steaks, and roasts. Barn owl swooped down to the barn. Large round bales of hay were inside. She could fly in and out of it easily through an opening in the front. It had rafters to roost on and a spot for a nest. The open field would have mice for her to hunt at night. The rancher would appreciate Barn Owl's help keeping the rodents out of the hay fields, which are cut, dried, and baled in the summer and stored for winter feed. This barn would be a perfect home for Barn Owl. The end. All right, so that's our story today. It's called The Perfect Barn. It was written by Sunshine Shanks and illustrated by Alicia Tibbetts. And I'll see you tomorrow with another story.